in Lees-Galloway.
Thank you very much, Mr Chairman. It's a pleasure to take a call on part 2 of the State Sector and Public Finance Reform Bill, and should any notes become apparent in front of me in the near future, that would be excellent. Mr Chairman, I know that members have made a considerable contribution to this debate, and that Labor members have come to be able to support this bill thanks to some robust discussion at the Select Committee, sir. Particular interest in Part 2 is the fact that there are adjustments being made to the Public Finance Act that allow for a more multi-sectoral, cross-departmental approach to a range of issues, and I certainly welcome that. I think of issues such as mental health, which obviously sit firmly in the health budget, and it's good to see the Health Minister in the House today, and I personally would like to see mental health as more of a priority for the in the health system. But there's no doubt that factors that contribute to good mental health sit in the education sector, they sit in the employment sector, they sit across a range of different departments, and the idea that that these amendments to the Public Finance Act would allow for perhaps a single budget that draws together a package involving a range of different departments and agencies with a single focus and a single line of reporting with a focus on something like reducing the incidence of mental illness, or better managing the incidence of mental illness, or supporting people with mental illness into work, and using those range of departments in that way, I think is an excellent step forward. And it's actually fantastic that the aspects of the bill that the Labor Party were not able to support at first reading have been tidied up, because I think this is something that many people working in the government sector and many people working in non-government organisations that deal with the government sector will be very pleased to see this. I think every member of this House will have heard people say that they want to see the breaking down of the silos between government agencies, and this would certainly support that happening. The fact that the information in the estimates and supporting information would be more closely aligned with that cross-sectorial approach, I think would be welcomed by members as well, because there are often times when we really want to drill down to an issue and look at all the different factors relating to that issue, and to be able to see in a simple document and in simple terms how the different agencies and departments of government are working together to alleviate that issue. And that just simply has not been clear in the past. Often something like mental health might be discussed at the Health Committee, it might also be discussed at the Education Committee, it might also be discussed at the Social Services Committee, and members would not have a full understanding of what was happening across those different agencies. So the idea that that type of reporting would be able to occur is an important step forward, and well supported by this side of the House, sir. Standardising the governance and performance reporting requirements for companies currently listed in Schedule 4 of the Public Finance Act, and proposed to be moved to a new Schedule 4A to make the framework more consistent with the provisions that apply to Crown entities, companies covered by the Crown Entities Act, I think is also a sensible move. Standardising practices across agencies is very helpful, and I listened to the Honourable Trevor Mallard last night talking about his frustration. It was a very good speech where he talked about his frustration as a minister at discovering that people employed in different agencies were essentially doing the same job and not talking to each other and not reporting back to the Cabinet in a way that made it clear that kind of redundancy was occurring within the government sector. Mr Chairman, With those few comments, I would certainly like to add my weight to this piece of legislation and give my support, sir.
The question is, part 2 stand part. Before we do that, we've got the Minister's amendments as set out on SOP number 262. So we'll put the vote to that. All those in favour of the Minister's amendments set out on SOP 262, please say aye. Aye. To the contrary, no. The ayes have it. The question now is that part 2 as amended stand part. All those in favour, please say aye. Aye. To the contrary, no. The party vote? A party vote has been called. In that case, we will give you a party vote. I ask the clerk to do that.
New Zealand National.
59 votes in favour.
New Zealand Labour.
33 votes in favour.
Green Party.
14 opposed.
New Zealand First.
7 opposed.
Māori Party.
2 votes opposed.
Mana.
1 vote opposed.
ACT New Zealand.
1 vote in favour.
Honourable Peter Dunn.
1 in favour.
Brendan Horan.
1 in favour.
Honourable members, the ayes are 95, the noes are 24. The motion is agreed to. The question now is that part 3 stand part. Advise members that this is debate on clauses 148 to 202, and it also includes the schedules 3B through to 4.
Chairman.
I call the Honourable David Cunliffe. Tēnā koe, Mr. Cunliffe.
Tēnā koe, Mr. Chairman.
Kei te pihe koe.
Delightful to see you at this hour of the morning, which
Wonderful.
I think is still technically part of Tuesday, but you're looking in pretty good shape, sir. Mr. Speaker, I'm so pleased that you've mentioned the SOPs because I'm sure that they're going to excite a